All right, story of the weekend. Caitlin Clark left off of the U.S. women's national team for the Olympics in Paris, and that set things on fire over the weekend because it involves Caitlin Clark, and everything involving her suddenly is a national conversation where you're right or you're wrong or there's no gray area, and I'll just sum it up. Here it is. If the U.S. women's national team and its roster building and the team going to the Olympics is about marketing the sport, it is about making sure the sport is as popular as ever, and the WNBA is an important part of that. If it's a marketing and promotional campaign, then leaving Caitlin Clark off is clearly an abject failure. If it is about building the best team, you have an argument here. And I can assure you, most of those in positions like mine are, me included, new to paying deep attention to the WNBA and the women's basketball scene. I am not going to sit here and say Caitlin Clark deserves this spot over this player that made it. Because, wait for it, I don't know. Her numbers as a rookie are in the WNBA something to take note of. Whether you think it's not as good as what somebody who just broke Pistol Pete's record in college should be, or it's not as good as and it doesn't merit the attention that she's gotten, make that case. I'm not going to sit here and say this player shouldn't have been on because of her, basketball-wise. A lot of people are looking at Diana Taurasi because she's already got 5 gold medals, and how at age 42, how many yachts can she water ski behind? How about the idea that maybe she wants one last run at Paris, and because of all of her years of work, she deserves it? Am I wrong? How about that idea?
You are not wrong.
So what does Caitlin Clark have to say about all this? Once again, she takes the complete high road on this front. Hit it.
Caitlin, what was your reaction when you saw the USA team yesterday, the roster come out?
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team. So, I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so it'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. I think it just gives you something to work for. It's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director or whomever's over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Obviously, she's going to make future teams and be dynamite at it and bite down on a gold medal. Maybe Los Angeles will be the next opportunity for her. Not maybe, it's going to be. And so that's what she said about this. Christy Sides, the head coach, had this to say.
Yeah, a little disappointed, of course. She's my player. That's the hardest team in the world to make, right? That is a tough team. She's young. She's going to have so many opportunities in the future.
How did you coach her up through that, or did you talk to her at all through that to make it more of a motivating factor than anything?
Yeah, we talked actually on the bus. She got the call on the bus, and she texted me to let me know. And, I just tried to keep her spirits. The thing she said was, "Hey, Coach, they woke a monster," which I thought was awesome.
Is there any silver lining? And she'll get a little bit of rest. She'll be able to work on some things in that 3-week break.
Yeah, I think that is the silver lining. She is going to get some rest.
So, head coach Sides saying that the player said she woke up a monster. Publicly, she didn't. The latest example of Caitlin Clark being in the middle of something that she didn't create, other than by her play and her popularity and her remarkable ability to capture the fancy of so many people who ordinarily have not been paying attention. So if she had been chosen, you know what the conversation would have been today? She didn't deserve it.
Yeah, probably.
She can't win for
Absolutely.
losing. She cannot win for losing. And the argument, well, Christian Laettner was on the Dream Team. The reason why Christian Laettner was on the Dream Team is because at the time, it was only amateurs until the NBA, I imagine, forced the issue, U.S. basketball forced the issue of putting paid players out there and the best in the world out there. And the price of admission for that was you had to take at least one amateur, and that was Christian Laettner. So if this was the same construct, Caitlin Clark would have been on the team. But it's not. So can we just sit here and say Caitlin Clark will be in future ones and the ones who are going are deserving of it when you're just talking about basketball? But if you're talking about marketing, then she should have been on the team. End of story. But other than that, it's up for a conversation.
Both things should be
Both things can be factored in,
right?
But I mean, one thing over the other.
But it's kind of a foregone conclusion they're going to win the gold medal, right?
Well, that's and the ratings will be through the roof because they usually are when it involves the U.S. women's national team. I don't know. Caitlin Clark should use this 3 weeks as a break? She's been nonstop.
I got to imagine she's pretty mentally
I don't
exhausted
know.
at this
I
point.
have no idea. She could be like,
knows?
I could handle this. I want to go.
Yeah.
But she's not saying it publicly. If she's just like, hey, did you see the arena between the Fever and the Mystics? Did you see that, by the way, over the weekend?
I did.
Okay. 20,000 people?
Yep, I saw it.
Okay. And by the way, she nailed 7 threes, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. I was part of the sellout crowd here in Los Angeles. She didn't have that night. So she provided that. By the way, I should also mention, just because I'll cape a little bit here, that's double the audience, the crowd that the Chicago Sky brought into that arena. And
what are you caping for there?
I'm just what am I caping for? That Caitlin Clark is all that and is worthy of the attention being paid and is worthy of the praise coming her way for that. You want to talk about that? She's not bringing it on herself. She's bringing people to the arena. But does she deserve to be on the women's roster, basketball-wise? That is up for debate. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.